Hello everybody, how are you doing? It is a little bit after noon on Sunday. I got out here a lot later than I thought today, uh, but I was super busy in the house. Yesterday I painted a wall in the family room for my wife, and today went ahead and she had a shelf she wanted hung and another decoration and a couple of pictures and just working on some of those things. And then we had a couple other things I had to do in the house, so finally we got all that taken care of. I'm out in the shop. I'm going to start with a quick cleanup because all the stuff I drug in the house to hang everything, levels and drill bits and drills, etc., is sitting on top of my workbench. You can kind of see that with a couple of other things that I had in the house. And I want to get those all put away, cleaned up. I want to kind of straighten the shop a little bit. I think my neighbor's going to come over today. He bought a whole bunch of the battery operated edgers and trimmers and leaf blowers, and he bought a little shelf and he wants to hang that shelf in his garage and keep all of his battery packs up there so he can just plug them in and let them charge. And he wanted the shelf to have a notch cut in the back on each side so that the cables could run through. So he asked if we could do that. I told him just draw a little mark where he wants the notch and bring it over. So I'm going to send him, once I clean up, I'm going to send him a note, let him know I'm available. He can come over anytime. And other than that, I'm going to experiment today with making a blank that I want to make, number one. And number two, I bought some plywood right here, 2 sheets. One is, I got it yesterday, one is going to be for the air conditioner, and one is going to be for the new sander. So I'm hoping to start working on those today. So 4 things I want to do: straighten up the shop, work on the new blank, and maybe build a one of the 2 shelves today. So we'll see how it goes, and I will keep you posted. You've probably already seen one of the posts that I've done on this blank. I actually posted it to Instagram, and then out on Patreon I did a post to the public, so anyone who goes out to Patreon will be able to see my public post. But I'm working on a new blank glue up. I mentioned this the other day, and I was going to build something that had dowels that dropped into here, and then I could move it in and out to set the depth from the blade. And someone suggested just using hot glue. And so I did. I just took hot glue and raised the blade up, and I measured over 1/4 inch and glued that to my waste board side of my sled, and cut some nice little. I had one extra here that it'll get glued on in the next round. But these just got glued up. They're drying, and I don't know, I'm pretty excited to try this out. Not filming it, just testing. If it works, cool. We will take it a step farther, glue it up, and I have a few ideas to, make it more interesting if it works. What I'm working on now is I just pulled my ladder out of here, got it sitting out of the way, pulled all the hoses out that go with the vac, the shop vac, got them out of the way, brought the air conditioner back into the shop, and I've got some plywood here, and then out in the big garage I have some 2x4s and some cedar, and I've got all these pieces here that we can use. We're going to pull all this out of there, and we're going to figure out how to build a little platform to where the air conditioner can be up on top of that platform. I may have to shorten that pipe, but that pipe is what exhausts the heat out the window. So I want to get it up to where it can just pump straight out the window. And I'm putting it up in the air because cold air drops. So I'm thinking if this is where it comes out the top, so that this little latch here, or this little flap here opens up, and it blows cold air out. So it should be about this high on the window, which is about actually about a 1/2 foot above my head. So it blows up, and the cold air should drop, and it should make it really nice and cool here in front of the AC. And also, being up in the air, I can run the drain tube down for any moisture it needs to drain out of it. Put a little bucket on the floor to capture that. So that's what I think I'm going to work on here for the next few minutes. Don't look to really film that, but I'll shoot some posts out here to Instagram. When we get done and get all this cleaned up, I got 2 pieces of plywood. We're going to build a plywood stand for this, and I'm still thinking it comes out from here so that there's like an L-shaped work area here between the oscillating spindle sander and this flat top sander. We'll see how that goes. Now, it will not be attached, it'll be movable, but I think that's what I'm going to work on today. Okay, as usual, there's a tiny change in plans. Initially, I thought I would put the shelf here and just jet it right out the window, but the problem is the shelf will come out so far that it'll be in the way of my spindle sander, because it's a 24-inch deep shelf. So then I thought, okay, well, just bring it to here and bring it across. But I got to thinking, this is what I'm dealing with for an exhaust port, and I really don't want to cut it because I may want to move it in the future. So this will attach to the bottom of the window like this. What you do is bring it down like this, and this can attach right into the back of the shop vac. So essentially, right into the back of the air conditioner. So essentially, what I'm thinking is this ledge here in my shop, go ahead and I can attach the back of the shelf to the ledge. By doing that, I can put a couple of feet out in front to support it, a lip on the front because the AC is on wheels, so it can't roll forward. I can block it in if I need to, and that way it can set right up front. I can, like I showed you, this can kind of twist out and then boom, right into it. It fits perfect, and it'll exhaust right out the window. That'll make it about, just looking at it, about this high, which is still going to blow up and down. I think it's going to do a good job cooling the shop. So the only thing on the shelf, it's just going to be made for the air conditioner, nothing else. And I do think I may center it on the window a little bit, so I may leave it away from here a tiny bit. That way I could store stuff beside this. I still haven't quite thought it. I don't know that I want to take it all the way over to here because it'll be in the way of this. And I don't know that I want to take it all the way next to the cabinet because of this. So I'm thinking, maybe centering it in the window, and that thing is maybe 20 some inches wide, 22 inches wide or so. So just a shelf big enough to hold the AC, and then below it we should be able to slide the shop vac, and then I can put next to it the dust deputy, and the scrap bin. What I can do is roll that over into the corner out of the way. I get in there occasionally, but it's not a huge deal, and I should still be able to reach it. And that stuff's all still up in the air. I'm not 100% sure what I want to do just yet with everything, but the shelf is going to now be AC only. Well, I got my stand pretty well mocked up. It's nowhere near finished, and I can actually tell you 100% beyond the shadow of a doubt that it is not going to stay the way it is. And the main reason why is, take a look back here. This is the exhaust port that the flex hose needs to go onto. So what needs to happen is, I think we're going to have to raise this up a little bit so that we can utilize the exhaust port. So that was a nice little experiment, but it's time to take it all down and start over. Hey everybody, I've decided to park the air conditioner just for a short period of time. I got an idea how I want to do it. I know what I want to do, but I just want to think through it a little bit more so that I don't run into the same bump. But I got it figured out, I think. The main thing is we do not want to shorten the exhaust hose. And one of the options I looked at would have involved that. So I don't want to do that because one time we had an issue with our central air, and there's like a starter solenoid in there that charges up, and when the motor gets ready to kick on, it gives it an extra burst of electricity to let the motor turn over, right? And that burned out, and they could not get one right away. So we were a day or two without an air conditioner, and it was like 80, 90 degrees, right? Well, I can roll this in the house. We take it into the master bedroom, put it in the window. The kids all slept on the floor on pallets, and we all stayed comfortable. I want to keep it. I want to keep that hose its full length in case I ever need it for an emergency. Not to mention, this is a combination air conditioner heater. So if the heat went out in the wintertime, we could do the same thing and keep ourselves relatively comfortable until we could get the system restored. So that's why I want to be really careful about thinking this out and making sure that I keep the hose full length. Enough on that. I'm on the second round of glue ups on my blank that I've been experimenting with. I just put the glue on them, so they're still tacking up. Probably will come out the next time I'm out and work on those again. I worked on this today. This is an insulated cup. It's my daughter's. She loves this cup. And it rolled off the counter yesterday when it was being washed. And when it hit the tile floor in the kitchen, the inside and the outside separated. I put epoxy all around it today. I was very careful and very neat. There's no epoxy ridge, there's no epoxy residue. I cleaned everything up. I just want to let it dry overnight. Then I'll take it in and I'll soak it in a sink of water to make sure it does not allow water to get between the two layers. You know how that happens, and then you can hear it kind of sloshing around in there. I don't want that. So if any water gets in there, then we will do a little work to do some more sealing around the the area where it cracked apart. That's it for me today. I had a short day in the shop. It was a good day. I enjoyed my time out here. But tonight we are going to do a recording, the first recording for our podcast. So I want to get in the house. I want to clean up. I want to prepare for that. And the trial run last night was fantastic. There's just, the rapport is so good between the three of us. And I think it's going to really be a lot of fun. And I really hope everybody tunes in. Everybody's been asking, where's the address? Where can I find the podcast? You got to hang tight, folks. What we've learned is our podcast will record it tonight, and then Mike DeLauter is going to put the 3 recordings together. When he does, he will upload it. Once he uploads it, it will then get a location address where you can go to it with your podcast listening software attached to it and receive the podcast. So we don't really have that until we upload the first one. So tonight will be a short one. This is more of just an introduction, find out who's on the podcast, what we do kind of thing. It's just going to probably be, I would say, a short one, but it'll be enough for us to get it together and get it uploaded. And then you will have that address that I promise you I will give out on this channel. I will give out on my other channel. I will post it everywhere so that you guys can tune in and listen. And I really hope you like it. And podcast topics. Guys, don't be shy. If there are podcast topics you would like us to talk about, we have a list that we've been putting together. But it's not just about what we want to talk about. It's also kind of about what you guys want to hear because you're the audience. So if you have any topics, feel free to let us know. We have an Instagram account and we have a Facebook account, and I'll put, I'll go ahead and put it up here. The Instagram account is at You Made That Podcast, and the Facebook account is You Made That Podcast, and they're both up there, so you can check them out. Send us your questions. Send us what you'd like us to talk about, topics. Now remember, this is not just a pin turning podcast. We named it something a little more generic because, as you guys, I think you guys know from watching this channel, I don't just do pins. I dabble in all kinds of stuff. So pretty much anything is fair game. And same goes for Michael. He does a lot more than just pin turning and casting. And Rebecca, I'm learning about her. She's amazing. She's an artist, a true artist, and she does some fantastic turnings, and she does a lot of other mediums that are going to be fun to explore and fun to learn about and fun to talk about. So it's fair game, guys. Let us know what you want to hear about. And like I said, we'll try to work in as many topics as we can. But yeah, stay tuned. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a fun ride, and I'm really, really looking forward to it. So with that, I'm done. You guys have a great evening, and I will talk to you again maybe tomorrow.